It's allhiphop.com. Chuck Creekmur, aka Jigsaw, here with the legendary, the one and only Eric B from Eric B and Rakim. What's going on, man?
Good, Chuck. How you feeling?
I've never actually interviewed you, man. We've known each other for like
That's not true.
I interviewed you?
Yes, you did.
What time?
See, it was that long ago. So
I see. It's been too
Kung Fu
long.
Fighting was on the radio. It's been a long time.
That's what's up. I actually brought notes so that I could get this done
Okay,
right.
let's
You
do
know
it.
what I'm
Let's
saying?
do it, Chuck.
All right. So first things first. You and Rakim are reuniting for a tour.
Yeah.
This has been a long time coming because I know a couple years ago I was like present for the first time y'all had reunited or at least taken a picture together in like almost 20 years.
Yes.
Remember that at the Newark,
Yeah, exactly.
the Newark Lincoln Park Film Fest, the Lincoln Park Music Festival.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know what? That was 24 hours apiece. I take that back.
Yes.
In Newark, 24 hours apiece. So, how did this whole thing come about?
Just, it's time. A lot of time has gone by. We've done a lot of great things, aside from each other, and just a lot of kids want to see it. Our kids want to see it.
Yeah.
Our friends and family want to see it. So, we put it together and just go on out the road and have a great time.
Okay. Now, a lot of people talk like y'all had beef or y'all had problems with each other. If that was present, how did y'all manage to get past all that?
Well, let me say this. First of all, we started a group, Eric B and Rakim. The name was made up by Rakim.
Okay.
Second of all, we never slept with the same women.
Mm-hmm.
Third of all, we split every dollar 50-50 from dollar one.
Mm-hmm.
So what other problems can you possibly have other than that?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just, it was just like, you're out, you're doing this. I wanted to do boxing. I wanted to do other things. And like you see me at all the fights, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
And just wanted to do a bunch of other things. Rakim continued, wanted to dibble and dabble in music and, raise a family and do stuff like that. So it's not really a violent beef. Rakim's my brother. We started out as kids together.
Mm-hmm.
And we took a mom and pop corporation and we took a mom and pop operation and turned it into a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're forever, grateful for that. So I can't think of a problem or a beef. People create this beef like they said Rakim and Kane had a beef.
Yeah.
But which could be, nothing wrong or the biggest lie ever told. I laughed one time when somebody said, "Oh, Rakim made a record called Break the Rap in Half." I was like, what? I'm like,
Right.
Did I miss something here? And which could have been furthest from the truth. At that time, Kane was working on a movie, and Kane bought this big house in Jamaica Estates around the corner from Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one who had the keys. I
Right.
signed for Kane to get the house because
Wow.
he stayed, shooting a movie for 3 months, and I stayed in the house. I bought everybody to the carpet people. I moved all this furniture in and everything because we were family.
Yeah.
So we weren't on the road, so I stayed. I was in Kane's house for like 3 months, just chilling.
Wow.
Because we're family like that, and so it was funny for people to kind of pick up stuff and run with it, and they have a beef.
That's crazy. That's funny because back then we used to hear all kinds of stuff like Candy Cane, like Rakim has Candy Cane and all.
Break the Rap in half.
Yeah, that's funny.
Just the most ridiculous stuff in the world.
You've been the subject of a lot of. I don't know if it's fables or street lore or whatever. Like Eric B's like the Godfather on the low. All that jazz.
I don't know how people would. I wouldn't even like. I look at a lot of people and they're saying, "Yeah, I used to sell drugs. I used to do." Why would you do something stupid like that? Even when I was in the streets as a kid, man. I don't even think, talking about something like that, man, and telling kids like it was all right. It's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the stuff we did in the street, man. I'm not proud of in any kind of way, and I don't like talk about. Oh, we did this, we did that. I think, man. It's some of the lowest points, in my life, being in the streets. But that's all we seen. That's all. That's how we learned. And then being able to make music and evolve and be a better person, or strive to be that better person. That's what I always talk about. But I never talk about, oh, I was in the streets doing this, that, and the other. And nobody's proud to be in the streets.
Right. Yeah.
And if somebody's saying that, and trying to glorify it, there's some ignorant stuff.
How was it for you in that era? A lot of people call it, the rich and Alpo period of hip hop, and the streets seem to be merging heavily with hip hop. But Rakim and you produced music that was kind of different from what we might have heard from, say, KRS-One or somebody.
You know, it's funny. I was riding with Charlucci, and I listened to an interview that Big Meech did from BMF, and he was talking about how some of today's rappers want to look like, you know, the drug dealers and people that sold keys. For us, it was just the opposite. We set the trends, and drug dealers wanted to look like us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We were getting money. We had the cars because there wasn't no drug dealers like that was getting money like we were getting money. Ain't nobody was driving Rolls Royces when we were doing it. I mean, you know, our older generation drug dealers like your Nicky Bonds and those guys, you know, were on that level driving those kind of cars, but not the guys that were in my era.
Yeah.
The guys in my era were driving IROC, you know, 280Zs, the little small BMWs and stuff like that. And not to, you know, in no kind of way knock them, but this are the things, you know, the way we looked on the album cover, we changed the face of New York City, and this is the way you look when you're successful.
Yeah. Right.
So, you know, when I remember listening to Big Meech the other day. Shout to Big Meech, man, keep your head up. And I was laughing because what he's saying now is true. A lot of the guys that are coming now want to look like, you know, the drug dealers were looking, but in all actuality, we started that look.
Yeah. Okay. Now, for hip hop, what does this reunion mean to the hip hop landscape? Forget about all the other stuff. For the people, does it mean something bigger?
You know what? I can't really gauge, man. I can't really gauge it, Chuck. I have to ask you. You know, you have to ask yourself that question. For me, this run is for our kids, for our families, our friends such as yourself. You know, to go out on tour and we just go out and have a party every night.
Right.
We go out and see the cities. We go out and see the different states. We go out and reunite with old friends that we've had for 30 years. So that's all this is about for myself and Rakim. Is a run just to reunite with everybody.
Yeah. Have you guys talked a little bit? Have y'all talked at all about, you know, what you will present to people?
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Now, when does it start off?
April 8th.
Okay, April 8th. And I
April
see
8th from Boston.
Boston, and then you go to Philly, you know, New York, Philly, a couple spots in New York, Connecticut, D.C., and then you guys end off in L.A. In your touring experiences, who's showing y'all the most love? I know home team is definitely...
Home is always sold out immediately, day one.
Yeah.
I think some of our greatest shows probably were London.
Yeah?
London, you know, people get in there, the fans are really fans for real, fanatics, and they're screaming and they're excited about, you know, to see you. I think our European leg, you know, a lot of times as black people, we get into this, oh man, they think they all that, and don't want to say, you know, like me, I'm excited to see people, man, hey, that's Michael Jordan, that's this person, Michael Jackson, that's this person. I'm happy to see people, but you know, we get into that, yo, Chuck, they go, what's the name? Oh man, yo, I don't want to see that.
Right.
You know so we get into that here, but over in Europe, Chuck, they have no holds barred. They're ready. They want to party. They rip their shirts off. They blow on the horns.
Yeah.
You know, they want some action.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, from the '80s era, right, and through the '90s even.
Yes.
Who was the nicest to you? Who was the nicest MC? We really centered our conversation centered around two groups: Rakim, Kane, and G-Rap. Now, some people would throw others in there, but for me, it was those three. And then as the '90s went on, it was like Big, J, and Nas. But let's just talk about the golden era, the early part of it. Who would you say was the nicest?
I mean, there was a lot of guys that were really underground heroes, like our Freddie Foxes.
Yeah.
And you know who else was a great writer? Herbie Lovebug was a great writer in music, and he never gets the critical acclaim. And even LL Cool J.
Absolutely.
LL Cool J is a phenomenal writer, but you know, it's like anything we do. When the women like you, everybody else is hating on you.
Right.
So LL doesn't get the respect that he deserves.
Yeah, true indeed. And he used to ghostwrite too. People don't realize that.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know, that's a whole nother thing.
Okay.
Now here's something I want to ask you about. Now a lot of people don't realize you were the one who was appointed to usher in Death Row East.
Yes.
And that's something most people don't realize. And now what people don't now, at least for me, I think about that period of time as a lot of turbulence, a lot of friction, a lot of tension in the air even. And I was still living in Delaware at that point.
Okay.
It was scary almost for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo, this is real life right now. How did that happen and what eventually went wrong?
I think in all actuality, the Vibe magazine made more out of it than what it really was. Because I remember seeing the Vibe magazine, they were talking about the East Coast, West Coast beef. And we were in LA at the time, and everybody in LA showed us love.
Yeah.
Like, it was so many different people that we met in LA, different producers like Demetrius Ship, Daddy D, and all those guys that worked for LL. And and these guys were our personal friends.
Right.
So even when we was over at Death Row, we're hanging out. I remember Demetrius' son when he was a little kid like this and used to do karate. He was a little kid. Now
he went on to go. Yeah.
Now he's the new Tupac.
Right. Yeah.
Now he played Tupac in the movie, and to see him as a little kid, not as a grown man, man, is a great thing. So when we were out there, it wasn't no East Coast, West Coast. It was, look, we're all cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, we're in the Mondrian Hotel. I remember reading the article. I'm like, we don't have no beef with nobody. Come on. Ice Cube used to pick me up at the airport. I used to ride around the Suzuki Sidekick with Ice Cube.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I think the Vibe magazine really made more out of the beef than what it was, because we didn't have a beef with nobody.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you anybody in LA we really had a beef with.
Yeah. So how did you link up with Suge for that? And I mean, for me, it was a lot of rumors, but we had heard like K Solo's name was floated out there. Who else? It was K Solo and some other people that were supposed to be on that label for Death Row.
Could not tell you. K Solo was around.
Oh, Run DMC. DMC told me Run DMC.
There was a lot of people that were in the mix, but then Tupac, unfortunately died on Friday the 13th. Suge went to jail, so the whole thing kind of unraveled.
Yeah. Was there
And Craig Mack was going to be the first artist on Death Row East.
Yeah. That's what they said.
Yes.
Like, yeah, that's crazy. Do you have any thoughts on Craig Mack? Because I know
Love Craig Mack.
Yeah.
We were talking about, we were over here before we got here at Sirius Satellite Radio, and I'm talking, everybody's there, down and depressed, and I say I'm happy for Craig Mack. Craig Mack, when he walked away from music, he always talked about, Eric, man, I want to get closer to God.
Right.
I want to do godly things, and I want to walk the walk and talk the talk. And then for Craig Mack to die and make that transition over, I was happy for him, because this is where he really wanted to be.
Yeah.
He was sick for a while. He had congenital heart, problems as a kid. Stopped taking the medicine, and and then talking to him, I remember we couldn't have him. Like, the rules were, you call Craig Mack, don't say anything funny, because his heart might fail right there.
Wow.
We kept it like a generic conversation. Hey, Craig, what's happening, man? Yo, it's good to hear from you. I love you, man. I love you. And we had to keep it kind of generic, because we didn't want to make him laugh and go into cardiac arrest right there. So we kind of knew that this was coming. A lot of us, myself, Alvin, Tony, Eric and Parrish, everybody knew that this day was coming. But for me, in this, I was really happy for Craig, because this is where he really wanted to be.
Yeah.
So everybody else, I tell people, sometimes we keep people around for our own selfish reasons. But I'm happy from Craig. That he's always, if you listen to all his records, he always talks about the pearly white gates and being with God. And so he's finally there, and I'm happy for Craig.
Yeah, it's funny because people were assuming, they had made assumptions that take care of yourself, and you know what I mean. And
That's
I was
true.
like, y'all.
That's true.
Yeah.
Dougie Fresh did that at Love Bugs.
Yeah.
He talked about, this didn't have to happen. That as black men, we don't go to the hospital and doctor like we need to. And he's 110% right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, a few weeks ago, a big thing happened where, from the Eric B. and Rakim Twitter account, it was a statement made about present day hip hop and lyrics and a commentary on the current state of affairs. Who sent that tweet out?
One of the kids that work in the office just wrote it up and sent it out. He got fired. Because it's like, we don't feel like that at all, because myself, and Rakim's son does the same kind of music. And I think we'll be hypocrites, because if you remember when Rakim came out, it was a slower, rhyme set. Remember, everybody was rhyming fast and angry and mad. And he was slower in the pocket. So I think for us to come out and say that these young guys are mumble mouth MCs and and things like that, I think we'd be hypocrites to say stuff like that. So that would never be a statement myself or Rakim would make. And it wasn't a reflection of what we feel about today's hip hop. I love the Drakes, I love the Nicki Minaj's, and everybody else that's in there. My Lil Wayne is my favorite. You know what I'm saying? So this doesn't. It's no I don't want to keep no bad blood, and I think these young kids, what they're doing is for them.
Yeah.
It may not be for us, it's for them. Just like when we started making music, our parents, my mother called it boop de boop de boop music. You know what I'm saying? So, I understand, everybody's concept, and everybody's saying, oh, Eric, it's not the same music. Of course it's not the same music. My mother listened to different music than what I would listen to.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? My mother is the one who put us in. I'm listening to Marvin Gaye, the Average White Band, this and this and that. And that wasn't the music. I was just brought up on that music. But, the stuff that we're doing, that we're listening to now, is for the kids. It's not absolutely for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have our era of music, just like my parents had their era of music. You just got to put your era of music on and enjoy it.
Yeah. It's been said to me on the low that they don't want any more Jay-Z's, no more Mary J. Blige's, no more superstars, because they are able to dictate to the industry or to the labels or whomever what their price is or what they will or won't do, as opposed to a younger artist who will do just about anything.
That's not true. Whoever said that don't know what they're talking about. You always want your Jay-Z's, you want your Mary J. Blige's, you want your Eric B. and Rakim, because these are your anchors. So what your anchors, when you have them, just like when we came to MCA Records, we had your Patti LaBelle's and your older groups, and we wanted to be like them and be on the label. So these guys are still attractive, and making the young guys come to the label. So I think that's that's wrong. About saying that they about the money. The money's going to be there.
Right.
The money is going to be. It'll never change.
And
these guys are getting more money than we were getting when we started.
Yeah, definitely. But but look at the game now. Like, you got Spotify, you have Apple Music, you have even Tidal, and all these other forms of publicity, promotion, marketing. Even. Do you think that factors into the changing landscape?
No, not at all. I think it's another revenue stream. Remember, we didn't have streaming as another revenue stream. We had the basic streams. We had movie, TV, and records. Now we have live streaming this and live streaming shows and stuff. So it's great. It's a great revenue. It's a great new revenue stream.
Would Eric B. and Rakim make a good biopic? You think?
No.
No? Why not?
Because I'm still alive.
We straight out of
NWA
was still alive.
I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't. I don't know, man. You know what it is, Chuck? I didn't get into this business to be a star and do a starring movie and this and that, man. I think Eric B. and Rakim, the story's not over. I think it's just restarting again, and we're pressing reset. And I think we're gonna have some great things to come.
All right.
So doing it now, I think it just be cheating us.
I don't know, man. I wanna, cause I feel like you're not. I feel like you never tell us. It's always something behind every statement. Every statement has another story behind it, and you're not telling us the whole story.
It's not like that at all. It's not like that at all.
See, even this.
It's not like that at all. It's the truth, man. It's so funny. Queen's Flip came out and did some stuff with me, and he said, Eric, I know you had the ice cream truck, and how do you get a Rolls Royce from ice cream truck? I know you were selling drugs. I said, where'd you get that from? And he was so mad. He said, Eric, I know there's something behind this. I said, there's nothing behind it. I don't know where you got this from.
I don't know,
behind
man.
it, man.
I would want to see the movie. What about a book? How about a book?
We were just talking to one of the writers, and she was like, Eric, why you don't write a book? I said, because I'll be like Quincy Jones, old refrigerator that can't hold water. Why would I tell? You know what I'm saying? Chuck, we talk about, off the record, talk about personal things.
Yeah.
Now imagine me doing a book and telling all the stuff me and you talked about.
Right.
You'd be like, that damn Eric, what is bullshit? He's a rat. It's all on me. You know what I'm saying? So some things you're supposed to take to your grave.
Okay.
And especially if you respect somebody's friendship and they bring you into their home or bring you into their private and they talk about their children and family. And I think some of that stuff needs to die with you.
Okay. Hey, I can salute that.
You have to, somebody has to hold people's friendship in a high esteem instead of everything is disposable. Everything is to be told and sold. Come on, man. It's like I'm just trying to figure out where all these black people came from. Everybody wants to tell everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember at a time when I was a kid, when the police came in the neighborhood, they couldn't get anything from nobody.
Right.
Soon the police come, everybody turn their back. Policeman, we can't get nothing from nobody. Now everybody can't wait to tell it.
Right.
World star.
Right.
They can't wait to tell it now.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a different day, but I still keep those old school values. I believe in your friendship. I believe in, when we're talking off the record means off the record.
Okay, that's real. That's real. Now you recently taped a TV show, The Goldbergs.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit. I found that hilarious when I heard about
Yeah,
it.
the Goldbergs. I mean, shout out to Adam Goldberg, Doug over there, another guy over there. We had such a great time, man, over there filming. It's a funny episode, and it took us 12 hours to do one scene.
Wow.
I was like, man, I don't miss this at all.
Yeah.
But you know what, man, another great education. Another great stepping stone, a milestone. Who would expect Eric B to be on it's the #1 comedy in America.
Yeah.
Over 8 million people watch it a week, and it's getting bigger.
Yeah.
They have a spin-off show from it. It was I think Neil Long. Neil Long is one of the characters on the spin-off show. It's a great show. I love the spin-off show. I really want to be on the spin-off show and laugh every day.
Okay, that's dope.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, man, like I said, Chuck, it's about having a good time. We have a great life. It's what you do with it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm living the American fantasy, not the American dream. The American dream was work 25 years, then get a pension. And, I'm living the American fantasy every day. Man. I'm doing movies, TVs, and you know what I'm saying? You see me everywhere. Boxing, this, that. I know you like, hold on, man, not Eric again.
Right. Speaking of which, I was at Comic-Con last year.
See?
Last year at Comic-Con, you were on the stage with Stan Lee and
Man,
the
unbelievable.
Black Eyed Peas in a comic book.
Unbelievable.
Talk
man.
about that.
Let me tell you something. Who says that, man, as a kid from Queens, man, in the street of being in the streets of Brooklyn, that things can't happen for you, great things. Remember reading the comic book as a kid, Stan Lee, the Black Panther, this and that, and the stuff he made. Then being able to sit there and talk to him, and man, it's just surreal, unbelievable, man, unbelievable.
You did actually get to talk to him?
Yeah, we sit there, hung out, and Flavor Flav jumped in, and Stan's laughing about his watch and talking about this is his Monday watch.
Right.
You should see his Saturday watch. And,
Right.
and Stanley's one of the greatest guys, man, sweetest guys you ever want to meet, man. We hung out for hours, talked, man, telling you about his experiences and stuff like that, man. A good guy.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my heroes. Somebody tried to criticize me because he's white and Jewish, and I was like,
What does that have to do?
I know. I was like, hold up, it's Stan Lee. Just relax. I need you to chill, fall back just a little bit.
Yeah, fall back. But it's so funny. Like we were just talking earlier about one of the guys from Sirius Satellite. He says, Eric, you remember Omar from around my way in Queens and Shalimar, this person? I said, yeah. His mother, they're Spanish people, and we used to eat dinner at their house. So my friends that lived on the corner, his mother was French. We were colorblind.
Yeah.
As kids, we didn't say, "Oh, that's the white lady on the corner."
Yeah.
That's my friend's mother,
Yeah.
and she was our mother. All the kids on the block ate at her house and different things, and it goes back to show you how things have really changed. When we were kids, we were colorblind. We were stupid. We didn't know any different. It wasn't, oh, I'm going to hang out with the white lady on the corner. No, that's my friend's mother, and we all family.
All right, what any last words? Or actually, you know what? Real quick.
Okay.
What is it about boxing that you like? I mean, I'm a huge boxing fan, and we see each other all the time at the fights. What is it about boxing that draws you in?
Because it's a one-on-one thing. It's the only sport that you can't play with.
Yeah.
You could play basketball, you could play everything. You play with boxing, you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
There's nothing about boxing. Oh, let me play around in boxing. No. You're gonna get your head knocked off.
Yeah.
So it's the only sport that you cannot play with, and it's a direct contact sport. And then the only way you can win if you have the will to win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't get in there playing around because one slip, one turn, look this way, somebody says something this way, and somebody hits you on the chin with 8 pounds of pressure, you're going down.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So just the sweet science of boxing, and then like again, my friend Mike Tyson, learning a lot from him. Like when you get a chance, Chuck, you got to sit down with Mike and let him give you an education because he knows all the old fighters like Willie Pep and all the guys that fought, in the polo grounds. I got to watch fights where people went 45 rounds.
Right, yeah.
And I laugh at these new guys. I'm like, you guys can't even go 10 rounds.
Right.
And you huffing and puffing. And I'm watching fights, round 36. 36. And these guys got on mitts with no cushion in them, nothing. And they in there with their hands up getting it in. And I'm like, these guys right here, they couldn't beat none of these guys right now. They couldn't beat none of these older guys. Could not beat any of these older guys. And so just the sweet science of boxing, man, really. And it's just a one-on-one thing. That's what I love about boxing.
Okay. All right. Any last words, final words on the tour?
Come out and see it. We're gonna have a great time, man.
Okay.
Come out, man. Come out.
What about a new album? Y'all think?
Hey, might be possible.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to think about after the tour.
How you know we're not thinking about it now?
Okay.
Anything is possible.
All right.
Anything is possible.
That's what's
A lot
up.
of great things to come, man. You gotta
Okay.
come out. Don't miss it. You gotta come out and see it.
Well,
Bring
I'm
the camera
definitely
out.
be there.
You gotta. We're gonna make a movie.
And y'all doing interviews together?
Of course we are.
Okay, we're gonna
Of
definitely
course.
make that happen.
Of course, come out.
Okay.
Come out. Get Luch in them. Get you all your passes. We good.
Yo, Rakim is the only rapper to I don't know what he was doing at this point in his career, but he stage dove literally on my neck. And I didn't get mad. You know what I'm
You
saying?
supposed to be fighting. That ain't cool. Grown man jumping on you.
I was like, yo, Rakim jumped on my neck. Yo.
Where was this
What's
at?
up? This was in Philly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
When was this?
Probably mid to late 90s, somewhere
Wow.
in there. At 96, something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's during the Death Row era.
Yeah.
During the Death
All right.
Row era.
To be continued.
Let's do it. We back.